So what you guys' plan for the weekend?
I have absolutely nothing.
Same, I don't have any homework.
I have to work Saturday, but other than that, I've got nothing.
Band was really rough this week.
Yeah, we had to move a whole bunch of stuff.
We do not have enough space for all.
Wait, don't we have an English project due this week?
Oh.
You're right.
It's gonna be a long day, boys.
We're in so much trouble.
What are we gonna talk about anyways?
I really don't want to go to work.
We could talk about minimum wage.
That's a really good idea.
What do you think, Keller?
Huh?
We're gonna do our TED Talk over minimum wage.
Okay.
Alright, let's go. Minimum wage has been a controversial topic for many years now. Some people think that it should be raised and others think that it should remain the same. We went to our peers and our teachers to see what their opinions were.
How much is minimum wage? What's your best guess?
$7.25 is minimum.
How much is minimum wage in Texas? What is your best guess?
Over $10 an hour. $10.25.
How much is minimum wage in Texas? Give your best guess.
$7 and hold on, $7.25 or $7.15. It's not enough.
How much is minimum wage in Texas? If you don't know, take your best guess.
I don't know, like 9 something?
How much is minimum wage in Texas? If you don't know, give your best guess.
I have no idea. Let's see. Give me a range.
It's between $5 and $8.
I was gonna say $7.50 is what I was gonna say. $7.95.
So that's what our teachers had to say about minimum wage. We took a survey out of 31 of our peers, and now this is what they had to say. In our survey, we asked them the same question that we asked the adults. 27 out of the 31 students we surveyed got the minimum wage within 25 cents. Why is it that the students were much closer than the adults were? 27 out of the 31 students we surveyed guessed the minimum wage within 25 cents. Although the students got it correct, most adults we interviewed got it wrong. Why is this? Teenagers mostly work minimum wage jobs because they require no degree or skill. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2016, 2.2 million teenagers received wages at or below the federal minimum wage. Now for our second question, we're gonna bring in a new speaker, Asia Estelle.
I'm Asia Estelle. As you can see, 74.2% of teenagers we surveyed said it was not possible to live off of a minimum wage job. However, most adults we interviewed said that it was possible.
Wage.
Is it possible to live off of a minimum wage job?
Depends on where you are in life. I feel like if you're probably in high school, then just getting out of high school, yeah. But if you have a full family, it's kind of impossible to do so.
Is it possible to live off of a minimum wage job?
No.
Is it possible to live off of a minimum wage job?
Not on your own, no.
Is it possible to live off a minimum wage job?
I think it's possible, but it would be really tough.
Do you think it's possible to live off minimum wage?
Yes, I do think it's possible, but I think it's challenging. I came from a family where both my parents were janitors, and they made minimum wage. And you know, we had 4 kids in our family, and we made it. We survived.
When the minimum wage was set in 2009, it was $7.25. But due to inflation, that $7.25 would now be $8.64. This could be a contributing factor in the differing opinions between adults and teenagers of whether or not you can live off of minimum wage. Additionally, this means that minimum wage workers now are being paid less than minimum wage workers were 10 years ago. For the current standards of minimum wage, an individual would have to work 50 hours a week. This would be 10 hours over the average amount of time a full-time worker would have to work in order to escape poverty. So while it is possible to live off a minimum wage job, you would struggle to make ends meet. Thank you.
Now for our third question, we're going to introduce another speaker, Keller O'Quinn.
Okay, so I'm going to take a slightly different approach and discuss on whether minimum wage jobs are designed to help students gain work experience. With this question in mind, we surveyed our fellow classmates and our teachers and received interesting feedback.
Are minimum wage jobs meant for teenagers to gain work experience?
That's what they should be used for, yeah.
Are minimum wage jobs meant for teenagers to gain work experience?
I believe so.
Have you read Nickel and Dimed?
No.
How much is minimum wage in Texas? Give your best guess.
$7.25 or $7.15? It's not enough.
Is it possible to live off of a minimum wage job?
Not on your own, no.
Are minimum wage jobs meant for teenagers to work and gain experience?
I think that's an interesting question that I'd like to elaborate on. It's meant for anyone who wants a job. The problem is it's not the category to which the job should be assigned to certain socioeconomic or age statuses. It's the fundamental issue is every job should be able to give a livable existence rather than literally bare minimum tidings. So anyone should be able to have a minimum wage job and be good with it.
Alright, and are minimum wage jobs meant for teenagers to gain work experience?
I think ideally, but I know that that's not the reality. I think there are a ton of people who that is their real job and they expect it to be enough to live on.
I think minimum wage jobs are meant for teenagers to gain work experience.
Yeah, some of them. But I know some of the teenagers go to like internships, these things like that, and they don't get any money at all. They get the experience.
With this survey, we got 31 responses, and 93.5% said that minimum wage jobs are meant for teenagers to gain work experience. When we brought this question up to our teachers, they agreed. They said ideally that's what minimum wage jobs are meant for. Minimum wage jobs are usually the first jobs that students get because they're a way for students to gain valuable work experience. Although they are hardworking and low paying, teens are okay with these conditions because they are expected to move on to college and higher paying jobs in the future. But this leaves us with a flawed system where if you can't manage to move forward, then you are destined to poverty.
Thank you, Keller. As we've seen, opinions about minimum wage jobs varies greatly depending on the age the person is. Minimum wage workers are greatly underpaid for the amount of work that they do. Since the work they are expected to do requires no skill, they receive very little respect. The lack of respect and the harsh work environment results in very poor working conditions for most low-pay employees. Although minimum wage is supposed to be the lowest pay a worker can receive, the food industry, which accounts for 2.5 million employees, are allowed to pay their workers less than the federal minimum wage because they receive tips. However, sometimes they do not receive the right amount of tips to meet the minimum wage. This is one of the many factors that makes most minimum wage jobs unlivable. Additionally, inflation from 2009, the last time the minimum wage was raised, to today, means that workers have slowly been receiving less money for the same amount of work. This means that escaping poverty has become nearly impossible. In order to stay out of poverty, a minimum wage worker must work 50 hours a week, which is well over full-time. As a result, most individuals working low-wage jobs get stuck in a never-ending loop. Thank you for watching my TED Talk.
It's gonna be an even longer night, boys.